Hi, everybody. Welcome to Yamen's Take on Things. Today we have two very special guests here with us. We're supposed to have three, but she's unavoidably absent. So we have Ifeoma and Sarah. I would allow them to introduce themselves so that we could start this pajama party. So, Ifeoma, please.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ifeoma Ina.
Okay. Why are you laughing?
Because, it's still new.
Okay. You're still trying to get used to the change of last name. Okay, no problem. So, what do you do for a living?
I'm an accountant. I'm an accountant at a digital marketing firm in Lagos.
Okay, nice. All right, so Sarah.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Ofame Madwago.
Why is she thinking about it?
After like 1 year.
Okay, what do you do for a living?
I work with Access Bank, Kaduna
Nice.
State.
Nice. Okay, so today the topic of discussion is financial freedom, and we want to dissect it. We want to find out what is the importance of financial freedom, especially when it comes to marriage. So the first question is, what does financial freedom actually mean to you personally? So start with Ifoma.
For me, it should basically be summed up as being able to make financial decisions freely on your own, where you don't need to involve a third party. So basically, if I'm able to solely make financial decisions, whether it's expenses, investments, or making money, right? That's a job or something, then you are financially free.
Okay. So Sarah.
Well, for me, it is the ability to live the lifestyle you want to live. Like you have enough cash at hand, you have enough investments, you have like savings, a lot of savings. You can travel around the world. You can eat what you want to eat. Man, you can make decisions financially without help from anyone.
Mm. Okay.
Basically.
So now I'm going to merge two questions together. First of all,
Mm.
we talked about Ifeoma talked about how you don't need to consult anybody to make financial decisions. So my question is, when it now comes to marriage, where they say, "Oh, partnership to become one," how does that
Mm.
affect you as a married woman going forward? So that's the first question. Uh, Maybe I should just leave the second question for later. So just answer that one first.
Okay, for obviously, I feel if financial freedom is being able to make financial decisions on your own, and when you're married, you're not supposed to be on your own, then you should not have that kind of financial freedom as at when you were single. So you can't just decide on your own to rent an apartment. It has to be a joint decision based on the finances available. You can't just on your own decide to start having kids. You can't just on your own decide to change jobs or leave a job. So once there's a relationship, that's some sort of relationship where the two parties agree that they're in some form of partnership, then I think there will be limits on the kind of freedom you have with your finances, seeing as your finances is now part of the whole and not just yours.
Okay, so if I get you straight, you're saying that you can never attain the full height of financial freedom once you enter into a marriage or some kind of relationship.
Yes, I feel like financial freedom is before you get married, but once you're married, that for me, I feel like that is ceding over some of that freedom to someone else, or
Okay.
at least to the institution, to the partnership, right? Not necessarily to the individual, but to the partnership.
Okay. So Sarah, you talked about how it's about living any lifestyle you want to. So how does that affect married women, or how does that affect you as a married woman?
Well, I quite agree with Ifoma, but um, yes, when you're married, definitely you cannot make a lot of decisions on your own. Like you cannot just decide on your own that this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do. but doesn't still mean you shouldn't still be financially free. I feel you can still, basically, when you're still taking decisions on your own, you still consider the other party. Not like, okay, how do I explain it? For example, I want to buy a car, and I tell my husband I want to buy a car, and this is the brand of car that I like. And okay, fine. He responds back that, we cannot afford that, or I cannot afford that kind of car for you. But okay, I by myself can afford that car. But we decide together that, okay, since you can afford the car, you can go ahead and buy the car. I would, I would support you the little way I can. And then you buy the car, even if you are the one paying 95% of the car. And that is what you want. So I feel you shouldn't just be, because you're married, shouldn't confine you to not being able to do what you want to do. Like, you shouldn't buy what you want to buy.
Yeah.
It's actually understanding. If you understand that, okay, fine, I know that my wife knows that I cannot afford this, but even at that, it also goes to say you don't rub it on his face. Yes, like, okay, he cannot afford and you can afford, and it's just mutual agreement, understanding. So I don't
Okay.
feel it should confine you at all.
Okay. So to conclude, what you're saying, depending on the kind of relationship you have with your partner, you can actually be 100% financially free if you want to be.
Exactly.
Okay. So if it seems like you want to respond to that, I see your mouth moving. Would you like to say something
I,
before we move to the next question?
for me, I see it like totally differently. I see like from what she's saying, I'm still hearing him and her. I feel like when you get married, there is no Sarah and there is no Sarah's husband. There's
Mm,
just the Madwagus. Do you understand? And I feel
mm,
like
Mm-hmm.
if Sarah earns from her office and say 50K per month, and the husband earns say 10K per month, the Madwagus earn 50K and the Madwagus earn 10K, and in all the Madwagus earn 60K. Do you understand? That's how I
Mm-hmm.
see it. So I see that if one party or one half wants a car, right, and the car costs 30K, the Madwagus should make a decision based on 60K instead of Sarah's 50K or the husband's 10K. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. The
okay.
husband
Yeah.
for one should not say, I cannot afford it.
Mm,
He should say, can we afford it?
okay. Okay.
And then the wife should say, okay, I think we can afford this. It shouldn't be about whether he can afford it or whether I can afford it. Because for then we're not looking down on anybody, because nobody is earning more than the other person. It's like the
Okay.
entity of the marriage is what is earning the money.
All right. All right. All right. Okay. So now going to my next question, which was supposed to be joined to the other one. What is your take on joint accounts? Now, before you answer, tell me what the percentage is for you, because there are some people who be like, oh, anything I earn goes to the joint account or whatever. So if you're going with what Ifeoma is saying, Ifeoma is like, oh, the Madwa would earn 60K. So are we saying that there's some kind of joint account, like physically, like tangibly, or it's just, oh, I have my money, you have your money, but collectively we have this in case we want to do an investment together. So Ifeoma, what's your take on joint accounts?
Well, because of the kind of mindset that I have personally, I don't think that if I don't see it as any different. You understand? I don't see it as any different that, oh, having a joint account or not having a joint account. So having a joint account is just like an extension of the same thing. But I think because of I'm a finance person, right? It would be foolish to carry all your monies and put into one joint account. I feel like that joint account should be for specific
Mm-hmm.
purposes. So your joint account should be for a reason, not for family, not for, okay, this is to show that this is our together money and then we now have our separate money. I don't think that that's the basis for a joint account, because whether all the money is coming to one place or not, it is already joint money in my mind. And I
Yeah.
really expect, see, the fact is sometimes some men self don't even see things the way I see things. Not everybody see things that way. I probably see things the way I do because of the kind of experiences I've had.
Mm.
I'm not saying that.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm not saying that the way I see things is the standard for everything.
Of course not.
So
Yeah.
that's why for me, joint account doesn't make any difference. It
Yeah.
is just we deciding to have, like, if I personally wanted to have a savings account somewhere, or I wanted to have an account where I would save some money for some particular reason. That's what a joint account will do for me.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
Sarah, what's your take on that?
Well, I feel joint account should be for a particular reason. So if it's like for acquisition of something, okay, let's both put funds together to acquire this particular thing. But aside that, I don't feel anybody, a married couple should just decide that okay, fine, all money should just be put in a joint account. It's not wise.
Okay. So now this next question is a very controversial one. So I want you to be completely honest. Should your husband or your partner have, number one, have knowledge of all your income sources and have control over your income sources or what you do with your income? So let's go with Sarah first.
Should he know about all my income sources? Well, there's nothing wrong with him knowing about all my income sources. In fact, presently, my husband knows all my income sources. So the second question is, I didn't get the second question.
Should he
Sorry.
have control over what you do with your income?
No, he shouldn't have. Like, we're not spending the money together now. He shouldn't have control of what I do with my income at all. But knowing about, no, yes, that okay, fine. No, I get money from like 5 different sources. Fine,
Mm,
it's fine. He knows, okay, so that at least he knows that he has to, when I'm not available, he knows that, okay, fine, I've gone to run this, I've gone to run that. But what I do with it, well, doesn't mean that sometimes, oh, okay, I want to buy this particular thing, I want to buy this. You would know that, okay, I want to buy this, I want to buy that, or this is what I want to do, but not that you
okay, so you
actually
have
control.
knowledge of it, but not control over it.
Yes, no control. Like say, don't do this, don't buy that. No.
Okay. Ifeoma.
Yeah, I don't agree. Knowledge, yeah, but I don't agree that another human being should have control over another human being. That's manipulation. Why should
Yeah.
you? Because if you are saying control, it simply means, say maybe the person not have your ATM card or something.
I've heard about
Well,
marriages like that. Just saying.
I can give you control, but you cannot take control.
Mm.
Hmm.
You can only take what I
Hmm.
give you.
Word.
It's
Hmm.
true. I can decide to give you my ATM card and my PIN and the access to my PIN. Like sometimes my husband does that even while we were just dating. I knew his PIN to his ATM. So if you want to buy something and he drops the card with me and goes, I could withdraw money from it. If he's away and he cannot access his cards or banking or whatever, he would leave this stuff with me and I could have access to the money. But that doesn't mean that I will just walk into his personal space and go and remove the card and go and swipe it for something
Mm.
without his knowledge. And
Or
same thing
demand
goes,
it. Yeah.
yes, or demand it because,
Okay.
So, but knowledge, yeah, I think that people should be very open in their relationship with where money is coming from and what they're spending it on.
Okay. So now let's go into the dark side of things. Now, a lot of societal ideas say that, okay, you know what, if a woman is too free, I don't know what that means, but if a woman is too financially free, then she's kind of like building some kind of escape route, right? So, what do you think about this? Like, should a married woman, have her finances? And is this so wrong if you have an escape route? So, Ifeoma first.
Hmm. This question is tough because on some way, admitting that you should save money for the rainy day, for your personal rainy day,
Mm-hmm.
is like admitting that this life not balanced some way. And well, I don't think it should be that. Now that I think about it, I've never thought about it before, but maybe it is wise for someone to have a fallback source separate from the entity. maybe it could be something wise that you as a woman may have personal investments that only you have access to.
Mm-hmm.
You can choose to tell the man or not. I think you should tell the man, because I remember there's this movie, this Tarapere movie, where the man found out that his wife had a separate money that belonged to only her and how much was in the account, and didn't even have any idea that she had this amount of money. And she was like, oh yes, I was keeping this amount of money because you are a wasteful spender and all that. I think that's wrong. That's mistrusting your spouse. But nevertheless, if you have some personal money like that, saved up for whatever reason that you want to save it up for, I don't think it's so bad. But I think that you should trust your spouse enough that he should at least know that such monies exist. I think that the man should not want to know how much is there. Personally, I think that the man should not even bother to want to know how much is there. That it is wiser if he doesn't want to know, dig deep to start knowing how much is there. Do you get? But that you should at least tell him
Yeah, I think
that yes,
it's a tricky
something
situation because you know
very,
how
very
the
tricky.
human mind works. Oh, she has money
Mhm.
there. I wonder how much is there. Tomorrow the thought starts to build.
or tomorrow, or maybe a couple of months down the road, he's in the family's into some serious financial difficulty, and in
And it
his
starts to force
mind,
that,
he's
yeah,
thinking of that money somewhere.
exactly. That's where the
So yeah,
trick issue
that's where
comes
the
in.
tricky
So,
part is. So I really don't know, honestly.
all
I
right,
really don't.
Sarah.
For me, I feel it's good for the woman to have investments, so and keeps money or have investment somewhere. But should the man know? Should the man not know? Considering where me I'm coming from, my mom had a lot of investments. Like she bought land, she built house and all that stuff that my dad did not know till
Wow.
tomorrow.
Wow.
I tell you.
Okay.
Jagabad.
So I don't know, maybe if the kind of relationship you have with your husband will tell you whether you should tell him or not. Because there are sometimes when you might okay, and then sometimes you just have tell him, and then at the end of the day, it might start to bring issues.
Mm.
Or it might just be okay, you have this, we are in financial difficulty, and then okay, fine, can't you bring this? Are we not supposed to be are we not
A
supposed to be
team.
one? Are we not supposed to
Mm.
be together? Are we not supposed to help one another? You get. But for me personally, if I start to save outside and start to invest outside, I will not let my husband know. Simple.
Okay, let's hope that he's not
Me, I
watching this.
probably will. Because currently, because maybe because my family is quite different from hers, Mine, my dad knows every source, every nook, every cranny. In fact,
Yeah.
while he was alive, he had access and some level of, I won't say control, but my mom ceded control of her accounts to him. I mean, she
Mm.
doesn't go to the bank. They know my dad more at the bank than her. You
Mm.
understand? And the same thing, in fact, to the extent that because according to my father, he couldn't stress himself to open another account in another bank. He stopped people from paying money into his own personal account because it was in UBA, and to his thought, then UBA used to eat people's money, right? So any money that people were sending to him used to go to my mom's account.
Mm. Yeah,
So that is also, it also depends on the relationship between the two people.
Yeah,
exactly. Like Sarah
actually.
said, yeah.
Really, very serious point.
Now, the dark side I was talking about was basically in terms of abuse, right? And wanting to leave but not being able to. We've heard of situations where a woman wants to leave because her life is threatened, but she doesn't have any money to fall back on. Everything is joint with her husband, or even the husband is the only source of income. So that's where this question is coming from. Obviously, normal marriages, you don't want to start to think, oh, should I have an escape route? Why are you escaping? But generally there are some issues in terms of abuse. Like I've heard of situations where a woman leaves her husband's house and then runs to her parents' house. I'm like, I don't understand. Didn't you don't you have your own sources to go and rent an apartment by yourself? Why do you have to go back to your parents' house? So these are all the little things that I'm trying to, address here. Okay, so
Sorry,
I
can
think,
I say something in response to this, what you just brought up?
yeah.
All right. So even if you don't have a savings, right? If as a woman you should keep your streams of income open, you should always be earning.
Mm,
That is enough getaway, right? Because no matter what, money is going to come at the end of the month, or money is
yeah.
going to come somewhere. Do you get? So that should be your own getaway. It
Mm.
doesn't necessarily have to be cash
Actual
saved up.
cash, yeah.
Yes, it doesn't necessarily have to be cash saved up. It could be the promise of cash that is coming, and you can check out anytime. So long as you have a stream of income, walk out of the marriage if your life is threatened,
Yeah.
or the life of your kids are threatened. Wow.
Mm,
It's when you don't have money, your own source of income. Now there will have a conde.
exactly. You feel like you have to stay for the kids, for yourself. Anyway, that's another conversation. Maybe we'll come again to discuss abuse and all that. But um one thing I want to say before we move to the final set of this video is when it comes to housewives, like I do not have any issue with housewives. In fact, I feel like a woman should do whatever she wants to do in her life, but always think of the future. Like, yes, your husband is the breadwinner, but that does not mean you cannot have investments. That does not mean you cannot have a business being run by somebody else, even if you want to be at home all day. So, like, a lot of housewives do not think of that. They just think, oh, anytime I need something, I run to my husband. Anytime I need something, I run to my husband. You need to have your own source of income, or at least an open, like Ifeoma said, source where any day, anytime you can always dip your hand into that and take care of yourself. So that's just a tidbit for you guys. So last but not the least, what is your advice for single women and married women? So now for single women going to a relationship, what should be the mindset in terms of, okay, because I've heard of situations where girls would be like, oh, if my husband cannot take care of me, I'm not going to enter into the relationship. I don't need to have my own money. I don't need to have my own business, talks like that. Then for married women, in terms of if you have a husband that is prone to abuse or anything like that. So just generally, what is your advice for single and married women out there when it comes to financial freedom in marriage and relationships? So, Sarah.
Um, so single women, I would say, well, just get into the be in the relationship with an open mind, and then for financial freedom, well, basically when you're single, you can still make decisions on your own by yourself that will not hurt anybody.
Mm,
You can just decide that, okay, fine, I want to move from the north to the south and the rest. But also, when you're still in a relationship, you have to consider the second person. Or, well, it depends on what you see the relationship coming, like what you see. How do I put it?
the
What you
future.
see would be the end, yes, of the
Yeah.
relationship. Fine. What you see, that's the future of the relationship. Then for
Mhm.
married people, well, it's cool to always have a good communication with your spouse when you want to do something that now you're not just yourself. Like every time when you get married, when anybody gets married, they give you that advice that you're no longer one. You're no longer
Mhm.
yourself. You are two in one now. So you have to consider the other person. So when you want to make decisions financially, you have to talk about it. Like you guys have to make a decision. But I don't feel it should constrain you. Like, okay, fine. Just like I said before, it shouldn't make you not to, like, you now start living a life of pity. Okay, fine. Oh, I earn 50K. My husband, just like if Oma made the illustration, I earn 50K, my husband earns 60K. And I know that this is what I want. So everything boils
You
down
now start
to
living thinking life.
good communication and understanding. That both of you understand yourself, you communicate well, you can do whatever it is. Like if Oma used to tell me something, they should not see where Sarah ends to now come and see where my husband changing starts,
Mm.
it should be like a long rope. Like nobody should even know that. Okay, fine. No, this is Sarah that has been doing this. Then
Yeah.
it's both of us together. It's both of us together. But regardless, if we want this, if I want this, if I want that, I should still be able to do it. Doesn't mean that my marriage should confine me because my husband may not be able to afford this thing that I want. You get,
Mm.
basically, that's my
Okay.
advice.
Thank you. Ifoma, any last words?
Last word, please, not last word. So yeah, in agreement with what Sarah has said, because she made a very fine point, right? So it's not, you should not live 10K life because your husband earns 10K, whereas you are supposed to be living 50K life. Do you get it? Let your husband too, because as iron sharpeneth iron, so the countenance of another man sharpens his brother.
Mm.
Iron doesn't sharpen one iron to be blunt. They sharpen each other to be sharper. So the person that was down will move up.
Mm.
They shouldn't be that one. If one is higher than the other person, once the two of you meet, you both should both come up.
Yeah.
That's that's why I say I don't think there's any way people should meet and become worse. That one of them should become worse than it was before. Do you get? So even the Bible itself is in agreement with these things. You get? So that's like the advice. And then all this stuff, your money is our money, my money is my money. The the phrase that most ladies use these days, you're just misleading yourself.
Mm.
And all these people that are listening to all these women, you are just getting misled, because in their houses, some of them are the ones that used to bring money,
For
wash cloth,
everything.
cook, and do everything. And you'll be here, no man. You
True.
so far. And when I listen to these people, life not per head.
Mm.
Decide what you want and what's good for you. Don't listen to anybody, your parents, anything, only for advice. Filter the advice that you are getting.
Mm.
See the man, you and him to talk, and be honest and open. Relationship is sweet when two people are honest and open. So that's the
Okay.
thing. And when you're in a relationship, try to work together with love and understanding. So start from the place of understanding, even when you don't get why the guy is behaving the way he's behaving. But start from the place of trying to understand the person, your partner. Because it's actually better that way. In the long
Mm.
run, you have a healthier relationship, whatever format you choose to use, right? In your spending of money or saving of money or investing money. It doesn't matter. Remember, it's not just two of you. Soon, a baby is going to come along. A baby is not going to be the man's own or the woman's own. Whose money would he not be working on? You see? So you have to
Yeah.
put all these things into consideration. If you are single,
Mm.
don't worry. God will bless you with your partner.
Amen.
And while,
Amen.
while you are waiting, this one thing, something that I taught myself earlier. You need to put your life in order
Mm.
for you to get, as a woman. It's not only men. While a man is trying to amass some certain kind of wealth so that he can get married, women just relax, doing nothing,
Mm. They
and
just
then they
chill.
enter
Yeah.
into they just chill. You just enter into the marriage with deficits and debts that you're owing people. It's wrong. As a woman, you should be planning your life. You should plan to try to make sure that if you're the first child, like I am, try to see if you can make your family to depend on you less while you're married. Do you understand? All these things should be put into consideration. So prepare yourself. Women should prepare themselves for marriage.
Thank
That's
you.
just what I'm trying to say. Financially, emotionally, everything, you should prepare yourself to be married, so you don't cause
Mm.
problem for your husband.
Guys, you've heard Ifoma. Women should prepare themselves for marriage just like men. And Sarah has emphasized that relationship between your partner is what's most important. So, just to conclude, right? Every marriage is different. There's no universal rule for what a marriage should be. And so, you have to be able to understand your own partner and decide what works best. Forget all these Twitter marriages, all these other things you see on social media telling you what to or what to not do. You know the truth. So do what is best for you and your marriage. Obviously, if a man and Sarah might be the rule, they may be the exception to the rule, but it does not matter, right? It's your marriage that matters. Don't now watch this video tomorrow and be like, oh, because Sarah said, or because Ifoma said, you're on your own. They don't know you. So thank you so much for watching. And if you are new, please subscribe and like this video, share to your family and friends, and let us know your comments in the comment section. What is your take on financial freedom in marriage? Let us know if you agree with us or you disagree. And I'm sure Sarah and Ifeoma will be in the comment section to argue with you. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye, Sarah and Ifeoma. Bye.
Bye.